I'm probably going to sound like a stupid, ignorant American many times throughout this video, but I kind of want to talk about some of the stuff that many people told us before we set out on our travels about the dangers and the concerns and the worries of going to Asia, of going to Europe when we went to Europe. Now that we've been to a couple different continents, friends and family told us a lot of the same stuff. When we went to Portugal, there was people that were like, dude, that's a third world country. Like, it's dangerous. Aren't you scared? And you look it up, and at the time, Portugal was like 9th or something in safety. And it was the same reason why we didn't come to Asia the first time. When we were in Portugal and I wasn't able to get my visa to stay there, and we were thinking maybe we should keep our travels going. We actually bought tickets to Dubai, and we were going to stop in Dubai and then go to Asia. And we were really planning it out. This was over a year and a half ago now, almost 2 years. And we chickened out. We chickened out because we started looking into all the things that talked us out of it. I'm not going to say that none of these things are things that you shouldn't take seriously, but this is what kind of happened. We started looking at everything that we thought would be a concern. We started looking at things like rabies and mosquito-borne viruses and getting sick in Asia, right? Where you're worried that you're going to get sick. We're worried that a bat or a monkey's going to bite us, or a stray street dog's going to bite us and we're going to get rabies. We're worried about different mosquito-borne viruses and we might get bit by mosquitoes because there's a bunch of mosquitoes here. And like, these were all legit concerns, and these were all things that people on the internet, people that we knew, talked us out of. We also were told that it was a third world country. It doesn't matter where you go. Every American that you know that's never left America, that only has seen places on the TV or what they've seen on the internet, will tell you that every place outside of America is a third world country. Like Switzerland, third world country. You don't want to go there, right? Like that's how Americans think. That's how I thought. And it was one of the reasons why we didn't go to Asia in the first place. Third world country. It's dangerous. You're going to get robbed in the middle of the street. And I know that there's places that are like that. Don't get me wrong. But if you know about Asia or Portugal, because I use that as an example because we got a lot of the same concerns from people when we were going there. But I'll use Asia because that's where I'm at now and that's what I'm experiencing now. Like, anyone who's been to Asia will tell you how safe Southeast Asia is, or most of Asia, right? They will tell you that it is extremely safe here. I have never, not a single time in the last month and a half, have felt that there was dangerous people around. Like, straight up, like, not once. Like, not a person that looked shady that I was like, I better keep my eye on him. No, not a single time. Not a single time have I felt that there was any danger. And I grew up in a very dangerous environment. I grew up in the hood. I grew up with gangs and drugs and robbery and all of that stuff, like, in my front yard. Like, that was something I grew up around. I never felt that me or my family were in any sort of danger at all during our time here in the last month and a half. And it's so funny because my daughter got sick and I got sick. We got food poisoning. And I guess that's not funny, but what I'm getting to is that we ended up taking my daughter to the hospital because she was going through it. And I ended up getting it a few days later, but I toughed it out. But we took her to the hospital at 2 a.m, and it was an international hospital in Vietnam. The level of service that we got at that hospital, like, it was pretty much empty. It was an emergency room visit. They met us at the Uber or the Grab that dropped us off there. They walked her in. They immediately got her evaluated. They got her on fluids. They did blood work. They did ultrasound on her stomach. They did everything. This hospital was super nice, like a really nice hospital. Like, I would have been like, this looked like an American hospital. The level of service was amazing. The people spoke English. At the end of it, it was a $300 visit, and they were apologizing because it was so much money. They were, we're sorry that it's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And that included the medication that they sent her home with. It made me realize how stupid and ignorant I was as an American, because that's probably the scariest thing that can happen to someone who is traveling in a foreign country, in a third world country with their children, is that you have to take them to the hospital. And you're worried that you're not going to be able to navigate around. You're not going to speak the language. I mean, it was literally, I opened up my phone, I typed in hospital, I ordered a car that was there in minutes from the Grab, and it took us directly to the emergency room entrance. Such a nice experience that it didn't feel like a third world country. And don't get me wrong, this is because I have money and I'm an American and I'm able to pay for the international hospital, because I understand that the people who live there in Vietnam, where we were in Da Nang, aren't able to afford that. But I was scared as a tourist coming in that something like that would happen and I wouldn't be able to do those things. So I understand that it is not a third world country for me because I'm rich in these places, right? But still, when you're visiting these places, you feel like it's going to be like that. Shit, my light turned off. Since I'm talking about medical stuff right now, right? And this was also in Vietnam. My wife and I decided to get a full blood panel, checked all our markers and everything. Like, this would have cost us thousands of dollars in America. It cost each of us like $150, like when it was all said and done, US dollar. And we got the results back in an email later that day. The facility was clean. The service was great. And I couldn't believe it. I got my teeth cleaned in Vietnam. A full cleaning. I walked in, no appointment. The outside of the building, I was like, all right, like, this is a little questionable. When I walked in, the equipment was brand new. All of the sanitation devices were Western standard. Like, they had full sanitation for all the stuff that was being cleaned in there. They took everything out of brand new wrappers. Like, it was a great cleaning. I honestly told my wife, I think it was one of the best dental cleanings I've ever received. It cost me $6 US. I was in there for 30 minutes or so. I walked in, no appointment, and they got me taken care of. Like, right there. This place was like a 20-minute or a 15-minute walk from the beach where we were staying. Like, I feel so stupid. When we went to Bangkok, right? Like, Bangkok, even as a stupid, ignorant American, I was like, Bangkok, third world country. No, Thailand, forget it, third world country. If you don't know, if you're a dumb American like me, you have this picture in your mind that it's just all hookers and ladyboys and it's just dangerous. You're going to get murdered in the street. Everybody's going to be living in huts with dirt floors and it's going to be just run down. Dude, Bangkok was this bustling metropolis. I've never seen so many skyscrapers in my life. I mean, I haven't been to New York or anything like that, but I've been to some pretty big cities. I've been to LA. I've been to Seattle. I've been to San Francisco. I've never seen so many high-rise buildings in my life. The transit system was amazing. Me and my wife and my kids, we got around taking the subway, taking the metro, whatever it's called. Like, we got around no problem. It was super cheap, super nice, super clean. Everything was air conditioned. The food at the malls that we went to were gorgeous. Like, I've never seen shopping malls like that before in my life. We're talking about shopping malls with like 10 stories. And we're talking about malls that I didn't go to one, but like one of the malls has a little like Venice in it. Like, they have a little river with gondolas in it. Like, it's just so crazy. But you think Thailand and you think Bangkok as an American who doesn't know any better, who's ignorant and believes everything that the news tells them, everything that their friends tell them, that it's going to be scary and dangerous and I'm going to get robbed and I'm going to get mugged in the middle of the street and some lady boy is going to take my manhood. And none of that happened, especially the last part. None of it happened. Is some of that stuff there? Of course. But it's foolish to think how much of that I thought was going to be like the entirety of it. And I honestly think that stuff was like a small portion of it. There's so much culture. The people are so nice here. Like the people were nice in Portugal. The people in Spain, the Spanish kind of got an attitude. I'm Cuban. I speak the language, and I'm not going to lie. A lot of people in Spain were kind of dicks. That's just being 100% honest. Portuguese people, lovely. They were wonderful. Scotland, a lot of Scottish people were really, really nice. In London, I think people were a little too busy. There were some nice people, some people who were just, meh. But so far in Asia, they're so nice here. Like in the culture, everybody, like, I don't know, it's just everybody's so nice to you. They love the kids here, which is so nice. I noticed this in Portugal too. They were really nice to the kids there too. But in Asia, like, they love kids here. And it's so different than America, because America almost hates kids. Like, nothing is kid friendly. If you've got your kid out in public, people are like, what are you doing taking your kid outside? Like, keep them at home. They're bothering us, right? Especially people without kids. But here, it's like, man, everybody treats our kids so nicely. Like, whenever they walk in anywhere, my daughter's getting compliments, my son's getting compliments. People are patting them on the head. They give them candy. It's just like, well, geez, that's like something I'm not used to. I'm used to America, where it's like you got to tell your kid to be quiet, sit down, shut up, don't disturb anybody. And here it's like they want them to just be happy kids. And it's different. It's very, very different than what I'm used to. And all in all, like, I want to say that I wish some of this was out there. I wish there was more people talking about how lovely it is to travel these places where everyone tells you is so scary and dangerous. And I think that only the people that have been know the truth. And now that I've been out of the U.S., I'll tell you, man, there's some nice people in the U.S., but man, I don't know. I don't know. Growing up there, maybe it's different. Being in Washington for a while, because you got the Seattle freeze where people don't even talk to you, and people aren't friendly, and people just in their own world. They're busy. They've got their own things going on, and they're living very fast, and they've got work, and they've got after school stuff that they have to worry about, and they have all these things going on that I haven't felt that in Asia. It's like people actually just live here, even though they're busy, even though they're working and they're hustling and they've got a lot going on, like the local people, you know, because you go to like a shop and it's a laundromat, it's a restaurant, it's a mechanic, it's a little grocery store all in one spot, and you have people that are working all day long. They're still very nice. Like they take the time to be nice, which then makes you want to be a nice person. And I realized that people in America are fucking miserable. Like, it's crazy, like how miserable I felt like I was when I was there. And I don't know what's wrong with our culture. For the most part, in the US, I've noticed that a lot now while I've been here. So many cultures from so many different countries that we've already been to are so much happier and nicer and friendly than the people are in the US. And these places that we were told were these dangerous, scary, dirty, underdeveloped places that I shouldn't visit because I'd be putting my family at risk are actually these really wonderful places that I'm really enjoying. And I wish that I just wouldn't have been so ignorant about it and so scared the first time, because I really do think that it would have changed a lot of our first initial travels and where we're at now. But we're here now, and our next stop is going to be Malaysia. We're there in about like 2 weeks. We're enjoying Bali. Everything I said about Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, they all apply to Bali as well. Everyone here has been super nice, super chill, way more of an island vibe. But all in all, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I've been lied to by so many people who didn't even know what the hell they were talking about like the dangers of traveling and how America's like the best place in the world, because starting to think that the people didn't know what they were talking about, and they were just kind of repeating what other people told them. And I guess never take advice from people who have never traveled to the places that you want to go about how it is there, because I made that mistake. And I also thought a lot of that stuff on my own before coming out here, and that was foolish, and I apologize for being a stupid, ignorant American, and now I know a little better. Hopefully this video was helpful and gave you a little insight of how some of these places are, and at least from what my experience has been from visiting these places so far. All right, with all that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.